Do you know that each talk in Georgian starts with friendly, how are you doing? This is the basis of social interaction. So even if you do not know more phrases, this is really worth learning. So one may compare it a bit with exactly how we address in English, how are you? Because often we hear the answer, fine, I'm good. Very rarely I'd say so or bad. So that's the answer. If you hear the bad, oh, it's so bad, it couldn't be worse. It's really in a very, very bad situations. And this is how Georgians also approach this type of answers. So, if you watch this video till the end, you will not only learn how to ask about how are you doing this particular question, but also we will be covering how to really answer that and have this first small talk really in Georgian. But remember that the role of the question may be different than it is in your own culture. If you're not, for example, English, it is different, for example, as it is in Polish, in my state, in my country. In Georgia, we normally use it as a starter for a small talk. It means that no one really expects you to answer that very frank and openly and saying, oh my gosh, it was so horrible, etc. But it is not to observe your inner self and give detailed description of your well-being, but it is more, I would say, just to say, oh, I'm fine, thank you, how are you, and how are you, and we just move on with the main part of the discussion. So we know how to use it, we know how to approach it. So how to ask a Georgian this particular question. So how are you? The best will be to start with the question itself. So in Georgian it is rogor har. Rogor har. So it means how are you? And literally it means like that. Rogor, it means how, and har, it means you are. So how are you? Yes, this is how we ask this question. So if you are in a formal situation and you need to address someone by sir, madam, this question changes a little bit to rogor hard. Rogor hard. And the reason for that is that this is exactly the same question, but we are asking using the second person plural, so you plural, which we also address in Georgian. We use it for sir and madam, so the former forms. We have this. If you do not know about it, you may see other videos that are linked here that are covering the pronouns. So the second question may be used as well if you address more than one person. So you know it from the context, whether you are saying sir, madam, or you are saying just to your friends, a group of friends. Here it doesn't really matter if we are familiar with them or it is a formal situation. The form is really the same. So it is still rogor hard. So there is another version of this particular question, and you may hear it especially in speaking, not that very often in writing. So that's why we'll cover it, because probably you will faster speak Georgian, so not to be surprised in our first conversation. So it is rogora har. Rogora har. As you may see, it means exactly the same, but this is just a difference. One letter is added. Let's say sometimes if the one word finishes with the consonant and there is voiced consonant, and the next word it starts with the consonant as well. Then we have in the middle, let's say, we have rogora har. Then we have this a being added. Let's say it's like adding melody to the sentence. There is other usage of just one letter a. It doesn't mean that always this a is exactly because of this particular reason, and this can be the verb is. So this part you will see here as well linked. If you do not know it, this is the short version of the verb to be. But in this particular situation, as we have already the verb, so har, it is already our verb, that is why we use it as, let's say, emphasis of just to have better melody, to have better flow. I do like really this movement when I'm saying, like, I'm always doing it like that. I do not really know why. So we have the question coming back to our how are you doing, coming back to the question. So once you already heard and understood that someone is asking you that, it would be really polite to answer it, isn't it? So we have to learn how to do it. That is why the easiest form is just to say kargat, and it means well. You just say it once, of course, I repeated it for you. So this is the option, especially if you are at the beginning of your holidays in Georgia, or this is your first time in Georgia, or first time just accustoming to Georgian language and speaking Georgian, not necessarily really in Georgia, but later on you may want to say the whole sentence. So the whole sentence will be me kargat var. Me kargat var. So it means I am well. Yes, or in more standard way, let's say the Georgians often do not use the pronouns, but just the verb. So we skip it because we know based on the verb which person it is. It's slightly different as it is in English. So it will be kargat var, and it means am well, like I am well. So having said that, it would be quite polite to also say thank you if someone is asking you. So we may use just madloba. It is the easiest form to say, and the most, I would say, neutral, which means like thanks. I'm fine, thanks. So this is the neutral. You may use it on a bus as well, not only in this conversation, but if someone is giving something to you, or in the market, or daily life situations. The alternative to that, this is gmadlob, and this means thank you, singular. So if you are just addressing to one person and with whom you are in a familiar way, so you are not using sir, madam, then you are saying just gmadlob. So if you want to address someone by saying also sir, madam, so in a polite form, then you are saying gmadlobt. Yeah, so this is the option when you are addressing also plural form. So if someone is asking you rogor hard, or you would be asking someone rogor hard, then you would be using gmadlobt, because this is a form of you plural. Yes, that is why it looks a little bit different. So you may even go further, isn't it crazy? Even further in that conversation and ask your interlocutor, how are they? So not only you're saying about your well-being, but you're asking also them. So the easiest way to do it will be from the whole small talk just to say shen, and it means you, singular, or tkven, and it means a plural, so you, plural, or in formal situations. But please remember that this is the form that you may use only in the main question. That's, the main question was already asked, let's say this way. So the question rogorhar or rogorahar, it was already there, and you are saying, and you, how are you? So this is the moment that you can use this, like secret weapon to learning Georgian language, and you may just follow with the conversation, and you're not talking only about yourself, but you are really asking also additional questions. Isn't it cool? Yeah, especially when you're starting talking in Georgian. So okay, we have several parts, several components, let's say. So how does a Georgian small talk look like really? But the question is, if we have already several components, so how to put it really together? So the students and the listeners of our courses, online courses, always mention, or very often mention, that if they have like dialogue patterns that they can follow, and this is what we provide as well, this is for them really. So in that moment, it is much easier and much faster. They can learn those dialogues because they know how to follow it, and based on that, they can also create their own. So that is why we have prepared one as well for this episode for you and for this video. So it comes from our self-paced study book and from our online course. It is on the level A1, which will be soon available as well. Like the next edition will be available again in I think late autumn, beginning of winter 2023. So you of course may join our Caucasian Mail newsletter, not just to miss the fact that it is returning, coming back to be purchased, and you do not want also maybe to miss our other life lessons that we are organizing for our subscribers, so for the people who are on our newsletter. And if you do not want to miss all that and you want already to use what we have covered in today's episode, so let's look now at some kind of small talk, let's say like this, small talk, how we combine everything together. You may read it as, or you may look at how it is written here as I will be reading, and after that you may also go to the article on our website where it is also stated. So this is the option about it. I will tell you in a sec. So it will be like that. Rogor har, kargat var, madloba, shen, metz kargat var. So it means, how are you? I'm well, thanks. And you? I'm also well. Yeah, so this is the simplest dialogue you can have. So this is something for you also to practice. And as I mentioned, every time we have this episodes in those series, so Georgian for beginners, there is also corresponding article on our website, so you do not have to scroll back and listen to it once again and to see the dialogues written. But for the revisions, you can go to our website, and the link for the article you will find in the description of this particular episode, so you may go there just after watching the whole video. Okay, so this is really not that much to add, but the only thing that's remaining is that it is for you to practice. You can do it individually on your own, just to prepare for your first dialogue, real dialogue, or just go and talk with some Georgians already, for example, during your next trip to Georgia, or with your Georgian friends or family. If you have, for example, spouse from Georgia, this is the option to try it on. So you may also try to write some kind, let's say, a formal way, because the dialogue we have given you the pattern, this is for you singular. So if you know someone, if you are familiar with someone, but the option is for you as a practice, as an exercise, write your own dialogue of the formal form. You may put it in the comments. I'll be more than happy, my team will be more than happy to check it for you and see if everything is okay, so then you can follow it and use it. The other option is if when you join the Caucasian Mail, so our newsletter, and the link for newsletter is also in the description, so you get a welcome email and just reply to that email and send us your dialogue. So then we can check it for you as well and let you know whether everything is okay, and you can use it as like a standard, like a first step pattern of those small talks. Yes, so those are the options for you currently. Thank you very much for today. Remember that if you like it, let us know by liking it, or you can also subscribe. So this is an option if you do not want to miss other episodes in this series, or anything else, or mini lessons that we have here in shorts form as well on YouTube. So subscribe and go to the Caucasian Mail or to the article and to revise and to practice, because this is the best option also when remembering new knowledge. Thank you very much. See you and bye bye.